Crystal Palace captain and defender and FA Cup winner Mark Guehi has been linked with a move to Liverpool Football Club. But how much do we really know about the centre-back who came through at Chelsea and is now plying his trade at the South London club? So I'm here with the one and only Rich from Eagle Eye Football, one of my good friends. So we're going to chop it up, see what we're potentially going to be buying and how good he could potentially be. Sit back, relax. Let's get into it.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
Two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Rich, my bro, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, you know, weather's good. It's a bit mad hot, it's mad. I don't want to complain about the heat, but I sleep in its peak. But no, I'm doing good. I'm still watching content from our FA Cup win. It's been 5 weeks, I don't care.
Laugh it up, bro. I'm doing the same with the Premier League stuff, so laugh it up, bro. Laugh it up. Champions are champions. Mark Guehi, bro. We spoke just before we played each other in the last game of the season. You were waxing lyrical about Mark Guehi, about Lacroix, saying how good they've been at centre back, considering you lost Anderson to Fulham and things have been seamlessly well. You speak about Tariq Mitchell being very good and signing a new contract, and also, in your words, your right back Munoz has been one of the revelations of this season. However, we've got to speak about Guehi as a Liverpool fan. We've been linked to a move. It seems like things could escalate and accelerate now because Kwanzaa's moving to Bayer Leverkusen. How good of a player is Mark Guehi, and how quickly do you think he could adapt to playing for Liverpool Football Club if we were to sign?
What I will say, and I think this goes across quite a few players that play for the likes of Crystal Palace, is that I don't think people actually realise how good players are until they move to a typical bigger club. Let's just chuck Michael Olise in that. Like, for the naked eye, everyone can see he's a baller.
I'll be honest with you. I was singing Michael Olise's praise. Yeah. I really wanted him at Liverpool.
But he's getting the plaudits. Oh, look at him at Bayern. He was doing it for us anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? So in that sense. And I think the same will happen with Mark Guehi, to be honest. I guess, obviously, the argument is, more so from a Liverpool standpoint, is would he come in to start or not? And I know he definitely will want to start playing football games because it's World Cup next year, you know. But to obviously answer your question, the guy is a Rolls Royce of a defender. I'll be completely honest with you. He is good. I think obviously the times where we've had defensive howlers, he's always the one that's trying to save it, in a sense. Like, but then he may end up scoring an own goal. He's like two own goals last season against Newcastle.
I think it was 3 he got in total.
3 in total, yeah. But that's because of other areas which he's trying to recover, in a sense. But when you think about his 1v1 defending, his aerial ability, his passing out the back is underrated, both footed. So he could play left centre back, he could play right centre back. His footballing IQ is so good that Glasner even tried him at centre mid when we were short of players, you know. Yeah. So he's an incredible defender.
You say a lot of good things there, and when you say things like Rolls Royce defender, that's what springs to mind with someone like a Virgil van Dijk. Now, Guehi, I think, is what, 24, 25?
24, yeah. He's 24.
I mean, he's not even in his peak years for a defender. Typically, a defender's peak years are around 28 years old. He is not necessarily on the taller side, and Liverpool do get targeted a lot with aerial balls. How do you think he will deal with that, and how does he deal with aerial attacks at Crystal Palace?
He just deals with it. And that comes down to like positioning. Sometimes like he's so clever that where he's standing on the toes of the forward, they can't jump, you know. So he kind of uses those to his advantage. Yeah. You know, granted, we obviously have like the likes of Matsons Lacroix and Chris Richards there as well that help, but he does his fair share, you know. Like, look, Virgil and Konate, quality centre backs, you know. Yeah. But I think what you're doing is you're preparing for one of their exits. I know Virgil signed a new deal, so he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Konate's up in the air. in a sense. But then even if Konate was to stay, if Virgil gives you a year or two, if you've already got Mark there, you're laughing. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I don't think you've got anything to worry about with Aaron Franks.
So I've got to come back to obviously his attributes and everything. He's obviously got 1 year left on his deal at the moment. He recently, rumors and reports suggest he recently rejected an improved contract from Crystal Palace. It's kind of the worst kept secret that he probably will leave this summer because you don't want to lose him on a free. Obviously, he was subject to a bid from Newcastle last summer around the 60 million mark, if I'm not mistaken. The rumor from our side is that we are aiming for around 30 to 40 million. Do you think that is a fair price considering he's going this last year of his contract and he's one of England's starting centre backs?
I'll be completely honest with you. I don't think our owner will sit down and say, oh, okay, we'll just take that.
Okay.
Sort of thing. I mean, the argument obviously is his last year of his contract, so I can see why you've gone with 30. Yeah. But Newcastle did that last year where they started with 40. Yeah. And the time when they eventually gave the figure with Arsenal 65, there was like 4 days left of the window. Like, who can we get in to replace him?
Yeah.
So I think realistically, I think we'll get anything, maybe a 45 plus 5 or 50. Okay. That's where I think the club, that's where I think the club's aiming for, the 50 million mark. So sorry, Liverpool fans, if you get it for cheaper, happy days to you guys. But that's what I think we're thinking of as a club. The reason I also say that as well is because Ousmane Diomande is someone who believe we've already got agreed personal terms, and we're just trying to get the fee sorted with Sport in Lisbon. So I think when Mark goes to you guys, it'll be like, here you go, bang, Diomande, we'll try and sign him for that amount as well.
You speak about Diomande. He was loosely linked to Liverpool before it seemed as though he's going to Crystal Palace. Do you think he's an able replacement for Guehi, or do you think you're going to have to maybe take a step back for a couple of years and then hope that he comes good in the future?
He looks ready already, to be honest. He really does. Like, strong, intelligent. Also can play with both feet as well. Yeah. I'm not mad at it. I think the only disappointment is, and I'm not blaming Mark whatsoever about this, it's more of a club issue, is that, look, we didn't expect to get Europe. Yeah. You know what I mean? That factor in the sense has changed everything. So it's still my wildest dream that Mark signs a 1 year deal, which he's not doing, by the way.
Yeah.
But that would have been a dream. Sign a 1 year deal, have a set release clause of, like, even if it goes lower, like 40 million, 30 million.
Yeah.
And let him captain us in the Europa League. That's not going to happen. So if we do get Diomande, that's cool. But we still need more. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting how this transfer affects us going in the long run.
I hear it. I rate Diomande very highly. I think he replicates a lot of Konate's game a lot, just a younger version. But speaking of Konate, you mentioned it as well. His contract situation's up in the air. You're still not sure what's going on with him this summer. We're hoping as Liverpool fans he signs a new contract. Even myself, I'm hoping even if he doesn't sign a contract that we still hang on to him. The question is now, Virgil's kind of in a category of his own. Everyone sees him as creme de la creme. If Guehi comes to Liverpool, do you think he displaces Konate from the starting 11, in your opinion?
This is so tough, you know. In the media, I'll say no, because I think you'll stick to what you know for starters. And I must say, Konate he's good. Yeah. He is good. I think he doesn't get I'm just looking as an outside looking in, so apologies if I get this completely wrong. But it seems like Virgil gets all the credit.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
And I think Konate doesn't get enough credit, because I think he does brilliant.
Yeah.
This once again goes back to the initial question of what are going to be the assurances for Mark, because it's a World Cup year. I think that's the biggest factor here. Had it not been a World Cup year, I don't think there'll be any issues. I think the signing would have been done, probably would have been done 2-3 weeks ago when the first window opened. But I think Mark's he's gonna want to play. He's gonna want to be in Tuchel's books, you know. So he has to play football.
Obviously, you guys have played a back three. He's also played in the back four and plays in the back three for England sometimes as well. out of his positions, do you think he does better in a back two or better in a back three? And if so, also the line as well. You guys usually play a medium to low block. Liverpool predominantly play a high line. How do you think he adapts to Liverpool's high line?
To be fair, he does well in both. Because before Glasner came in, he was playing the back four with Joachim Andersen.
Yeah,
and Joachim Andersen had no pace. You know what I mean? So he was dealing with that quite easily. And bear in mind, at that time he was 21, 22.
Yeah.
You know, so he'll cope regardless. I think because he's also intelligent, he's also both him and Virgil have got decent recovery pace. I think it will just make life a lot easier for him.
Okay.
You know? And like I said, because you're going to see majority of the ball. And I tell you, Marc Guehi, his football ability is good. Like, he does like to thread the ball through the lines and stuff. There's been times you've seen him dribble from centre-back going into the midfield. Like, he's very good on the ball. So I guess, like, if you're attacking and you would have maintained that pressure, knowing that you got the security of Virgil, he can slot into that midfield area to get the extra bodies and, you know, because you're going to have to find space some way.
Yeah.
You know? So, I think, like I said, I think it will be fine.
All right. We're looking at the landscape. Obviously, Liverpool Premier League champions, and we're obviously looking at this signing. Is this the best place for Marc Guehi to go for his career development, his personal career development right now? Or would you recommend somewhere else if you were managing his career? Be honest, you won't hurt my feelings if you say...
Yeah, no. The number one honest thing I'll say is I wish you go abroad. You know,
I hear it.
Your better players go and you're playing against them. So, oh, man. Yeah. Look, he can play in the top six. Like, I think he can do that comfortably. But then if you're going to look at the teams, does he go back to Chelsea? Because he's better than their centre backs. You know? Arsenal is, I think Arsenal and Liverpool in the same bracket of that's the level of difficulty.
Yeah.
You know? It sounds mad, but I think he does a decent job at City as well. Because if I mean, not now because they've made signings.
Yeah.
But it was Diaz and Vardy. But then sometimes Vardy will play left back.
Yes.
I think he's better than Ake personally.
Okay.
And stuff, and I think he's better than Akanji. So if it was a case where they hadn't signed a left back and Vardy played left back as he did, he could play in the centre with Diaz personally. Newcastle, I think, is a good fit as well. I think they do need I know Botman's had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And it's Shah is the other one in it, and he's getting on.
Yeah.
So, but if Liverpool come calling though, like.
I was gonna say, do you think one of the other clubs will look in? Because again, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, how on earth are Chelsea not trying to get involved, and how on earth are Newcastle not trying to get involved when there is such a shortage of good centre backs out there, who, especially for teams like Newcastle and Chelsea, especially considering he came through their academy. And if am I mistaken in saying they've got a buyback clause for him as well?
They have a buyback. They've got a percentage.
Oh, okay.
Was a sell-on clause.
Oh, okay.
And stuff. I think I don't understand why Chelsea have gone in for him. My initial thought was that they were going for him and use Chalobah as a make weight.
Oh yeah, because he was on loan there, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I thought would happen, but nothing's come about. And like I said, Newcastle's another one. I don't know if they're hurt because of last season. Look, we made the best decision for us. Number one, we couldn't replace him in 4 days, and number two, he's now gone on and lifted up the FA Cup and captained us to it.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, we lost out on potentially now an extra 20 to 25 million. We've already made that by winning the FA Cup. You know what I mean? So yeah, of those three clubs, of Chelsea and Newcastle, I'm surprised those two haven't gone in for him. But I guess when Liverpool come calling, it's done.
I just want to touch on that with the Newcastle thing, because I'm sure from Marc Guehi's standpoint, considering where Newcastle sort of heading as a team, there may have been some sort of professional disappointment from him last season that things didn't develop in that way. However, from the outside looking in, not once did he sulk, not once did his performances dip or anything like that. There's obviously a captain. How would you describe his leadership style, and how will that help Liverpool, considering we've got Virgil, we've got Robertson. Even though Robertson doesn't have the quality anymore, he still got that leadership. Salah, how would you say he fits into that leadership, and what's his style of leadership in your opinion?
He's probably one of the only captains I've seen who leads quietly. It sounds mad, like he's so calm and composed. Like even when things are going wrong, he says, "Hey, you know, it's all right. Come on, think about it." We score a goal, he's writing, "Hey, get in, come here." Like, yo, just come on, you've got to think about it, you've got to concentrate and stuff. He's always talking, but he's not more like the brash, like, like he's not. That's not in his nature, you know. So yeah, like I think he's a quality captain. Obviously, he's now going to go into a side where, like Virgil's a captain, right?
Yeah.
And stuff, but he will still display captain material, I would say, within that. And it's quite frightening thought of seeing them to a centre-back partnership.
Do you think it also opens up an option for Liverpool to potentially play 3 at the back? And if so, could he play left centre-back?
Yeah, he's been doing it all season. He's been playing left centre-back all season.
So when you play a back 2, it's him and Lacroix. When it's a back 3, it's him, Lacroix, and Richard?
So the last time we played a back 2 was under Roy Hodgson.
Okay, so
and before that it was Vieira. So ever since Gladstone's come in, we've gone into a back 3.
Okay, so it's Tariq Mitchell left wing back, Munoz right wing back, Lacroix.
So Guehi, Richard's right centre back, Lacroix centre back, Guehi left centre back. But there's been times where Guehi's had to play right centre back, and there's been times where he's had to play centre back. So he can do all of them. Like, he's that good.
All right, and then if I was to ask you to rank him in the Premier League defenders, where would he rank for you and why?
All right. So in no particular order, I'm just going to name centre-backs that I think are up there personally. So both Liverpool centre-backs I think are quality. And bear in mind, every defender's prone to a mistake. So I'm not that type of person that will say, but you know. So I think Diaz and Vardy are quality. Saliba and Gabriel. He's better than both Chelsea's, like I've said.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Shaw. Botman, I think he's better than Botman.
You fit Botman as well. I rate Botman highly. Because if I'm going to be transparent with you and honest with you, I'm happy if we sign Guehi. I don't know if I'm underrating him or not giving him the flowers he deserves, though, because I do think there are other defenders out there who I would get ahead of him. But I understand why the club is going for him, and I'll be over the moon if we sign him.
Yeah,
he just wouldn't have been one of my first choices. I've even gone as far as saying, don't kill me here.
Go on.
I would have him as 4th choice as opposed to 3rd choice.
Who would you be in your 3rd?
I would try and go and get someone again if he was.
If you're going to rebuy someone, I thought you were going to mention Quansah.
No.
I would have left the street.
Someone like a Schlotterbeck, for example, if he was fit, I'd have gone and got a Schlotterbeck and then tried to.
No, but you know what? Those sort of things are understandable. They're going to be defenders out there in the European stage or world stage that are going to be better than him. But if we're going to look at Prem quality,
he's
outside of the big 6. I think he's probably one of the best.
Yeah, which is very fair. I'd agree with that. So one more question before I let you go, Rich. And again, appreciate you doing this.
No, that's all good.
Does Liverpool Football Club sign Marc Guehi, or does he go somewhere else, in your opinion?
I think there's been too much noise for him not to. So I'm going to say yes.
Does that mean...
Please stump off 50.
To be fair, we all said a draw at the end of the season. No, you predicted a win, I think. Or was it JC that predicted a win against us?
I can't remember that.
Either way, the clubs have both been cordial with player sales and stuff like that in the past. So maybe.
Listen, you've got money there. You just splashed the 113.
I know. We're rich now.
Like, just 30 violation. No.
I know. I'd be shocked if it was 30. I reckon we'll settle around the 40 mil mark. I think you're right. Maybe 40 mil plus add-ons. And I think that's a fair price.
45 and add-ons.
You have a hard bargain. Rick, please tell the people where they can find you, support you, please, bro.
Eagle Eyed Football, yeah, we are Crystal Palace fan channel. Yes, I will be back. We're going to talk community shield. We're going to be talking and stuff.
Hopefully, you're going to do that one in person. So, God willing, man.
Yeah, that's the plan. That is the plan. So, and it helps that it's going to be during the school holidays as well. So.
Yeah, 10th of August that game is as well. You going to the game?
I'll be there. I'm just waiting for the ticket sale to come out.
Same. So, you know, we got a few link ups between now and the start of the season. So,
100%.
Looking good. 100%. Looking good. People, the link to Rich's channel, Eagle Eye Football, will be in the title and the description. So, make sure you support the guys. Big up to the rest of the boys as well. Rich, you're an absolute legend. And people, let us know in the comment section. Will Liverpool sign Marc Guehi? Yes or no? As always, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Till we see you again. Stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kopish and we're out, people. Take care.